Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Locrine and we get to hear from Guendoline today in Act 5, Scene 3. Now Guendoline, remember, was Cornelius's daughter and Brutus told Locrine that he was supposed to marry Guendoline, so he was supposed to marry his cousin. But Locrine then, once he saw Estrel, decided that he didn't want Guendoline anymore, but couldn't really do anything about it as long as Cornelius was still alive, because Cornelius was really upset about Locrine spurning Guendoline to be with Estrel. But now Cornelius has recently died. So Locrine was like, this is good for me. I can finally get Estrel out of her jeweled cave and, be with the woman that I want to be with. Meanwhile, Guendoline had gone to Cornwall to mourn the passing of her father, and Locrine was like, fine, just let her stay there. So Act 5, Scene 3, we're there with her. We're in Cornwall, and she's in a room with her brother Thrasymachus and her child. And she kicks off Act 5, Scene 3 saying, "You gentle winds that with your modest blasts pass through the circuit of the heavenly vault, enter the clouds unto the throne of Jove, and bear my prayers to his all-hearing ears. For Locrine hath forsaken Guendoline, and learnt to love proud Humber's concubine. You happy sprites that in your concave sky with pleasant joy enjoy your sweetest love, shed forth those tears with me, which then you shed when first you wooed your ladies to your wills. Those tears are fittest for my woeful case, since Locrine shuns my nothing pleasant face. Blush, heavens, blush, sun, and hide thy shining beams. Shadow thy radiant locks in gloomy clouds. Deny thy cheerful light unto the world, where nothing reigns but falsehood and deceit." What, said I, falsehood? Aye, that filthy crime, for Locrine hath forsaken Guendoline. Behold, the heavens do wail for Guendoline. The shining sun doth blush for Guendoline. The liquid air doth weep for Guendoline. The very ground doth groan for Guendoline. Aye, they are milder than the Briton king, for he rejecteth luckless Guendoline. So she's sad about this situation with Locrine. Now, my guess is that when she took off for Cornwall to mourn for her father and she took her son with her, Locrine didn't tell her at that point, don't come back. So when Thrasymachus was exiled, was banished, he likely went and told her. So this is the equivalent of she just got divorced, like not even in a text message. She just got divorced like on a post-it note is basically what just happened to her. And she's upset about it. She's grieving, she's mourning not only the passing of her father, but the loss of Locrine. She says twice, for Locrine hath forsaken Guendoline. So this is very much on her mind. He dumped her. He let her go. He broke his promises to her. So she's calling to the gods, she's calling to nature, weep with me, grieve with me, mourn with me. And the repetition at the end of this monologue of, the heavens wail for Guendoline, the sun blushes for Guendoline, the air weeps for Guendoline, the ground groans for Guendoline, reminds me just a little smidge of Humber's monologue about needing meat and needing to find meat. So it would imply a sort of growing desperation within her that she is so sad that she has been left by Locrine, who basically just said, never come home again. Thrasymachus then responds by being like, no, this is not something to be sad about. This is something to get angry about. And the only way that we're going to fix this is if we go to war and kill Locrine. And she's like, no, I don't want to, he's my husband. I don't want to kill him. Like, what does that look like if I have my husband killed? And Thrasymachus is like, well, just step back for a second, because our dad always told us to follow the law. He banished me and he divorced you. Is he playing by the law? No, he deserves to die for all of this. And she's like, well, okay, I guess I can kind of see that point that like something bad needs to happen to Locrine. At which point the son jumps in and he's like, if I was old enough, I'd kill him myself. And Thrasymachus is like, look, see, even your kid thinks that Locrine needs to die. So it's time to go do this. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever. And that's the end of Act 5, Scene 3. So infighting amongst the family escalates. Now, instead of the Britons versus the Scythians, we have Locrine versus Thrasymachus, and we will see how that all turns out as we dig further into Act 5. So come on back tomorrow for more. Mwah.